Happy 4th of July weekend to everybody. So, wanted to start there. I'll make more comments on that in the morning, but happy 4th, everybody. Let's have a little bit of fun. I figure we'll probably have a smaller crowd tonight, so it means I can give you guys a little bit more detail on questions and all. But somebody give me a 5x5. There's Jacob with the 5x5. So I guess y'all can see me, hear me, and we're ready to go. All right. So let's get that all turned down and do that there. Okay. So as you guys saw the pictures, we busted our ass the last couple of days and got the smokehouse done, and I got it up to 225, so I'm happy. So I know it'll work tomorrow. We almost got the deck done. I had to go get 2 more boards after the old disaster on the finger there, but I've got to wait for more fasteners for it. But deck's usable, everything like that. I shot a picture, and thank you guys for the nice comments, and hope you all like Mrs. P's choice to match the picnic table that I built a couple of years ago and the planter that I built out of pallets last year with the smokehouse. So we're starting to turn this place into Jellystone, I guess. It looks like U.S. Park Service's house or something like that. So doing good. Okay. So fun times in the big city tonight. We all I know a lot of you guys saw the cyber hack that went down. Was it Kesara? Hasn't affected too much of the U.S. yet, but I guess we had something like 800 grocery stores in Sweden had a shutdown. Simple one. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. I guess I hope the finger heals quickly too. Trust me, because it's kind of hard trying to do work around here with a bad paw. But yeah, so I guess 800 grocery stores got shut down in Sweden because of this. And I mean, Kesar is a worldwide company, so this ought to be interesting. But as we get closer and closer, I mean, Cyber Polygon is Saturday, or was it Friday? What is today? Today's Saturday. So yeah, 6 days. So next Friday. I got a kick out of the fact, and I was kind of putting 2 and 2 together like we always do around here. And what is it? It's this Russian hacking group, Revil, R-Evil, is supposedly the one taking credit for this cyber hack. And you have the Russians who are running the counter programming, if you will, the security side on Cyber Polygon. So this is going to be interesting because if the lead security team is Russian and apparently the lead hacking team has all been Russian, makes you think a little bit, doesn't it? Okay, how does it all work together? So that's something interesting going on. Maybe y'all saw the whole deal in Massachusetts today with these 11 guys scattering off in the woods when the cops saw them, everything like that. Apparently, they've caught everybody now. That's the latest report I've seen, so that was good. But, again, we got extremists and, the background of extremists, and I'll just kind of keep it from getting shut off instantly by not saying that word. But, yeah, so kudos to the Massachusetts police for rounding these guys up real quick and, getting the riffraff back where they belong, which is either not in this country or behind bars. But speaking about riffraff and not in this country and the 4th of July, anybody notice who Potato decided to invite to the White House 4th of July celebration? A bunch of illegal aliens. Woohoo, because they have so much to celebrate with our Independence Day, Congratulations, you made it across the border without being caught. So, what better way to take custody of you rather than throw you in jail, put you on a bus, and ship you back to wherever you came from, and you can do it legally if you want to come here? No, we can't do that. Let's give you the grand tour of the White House, and let's let you sit with Mr. and Mrs. Potato and watch the fireworks tonight. That's a great idea. Moving on. Okay. But the classic, gotta love this one, okay? Spending money, something the left is notoriously good at, okay? The White House payroll. This is kind of interesting. Now, we had 8 years of Obozo. We had 4 years of Trump, and we've got 4 months, 5 months, 5.5 months of potato here, okay? Well, in the 8 years of Obozo, his payroll was higher every year, except for one, than Trump's. Trump barely beat his, in 2019, Trump's payroll was barely higher than Bozo's 2014 payroll. Other than that, 7 other years, Bozo sat there and said it. Well, like everything else, Biden can't be outdone by his mentor, okay? Biden now has, in this economy, the highest White House payroll ever. Okay, we are paying more money for government employees than any and ever. Now, this is the fun part. Want to see where some of this goes? In 2009, Mrs. Obama, Mike, had a total staff of 24 people. I figure she probably needed that many because, hey, you need that much makeup artists to sit there and make you actually look like a female. In 2017, Melania Trump had 5, so 1/5 of what Michelle Obama had. Jill Biden, she's got 12 on her personal staff. Figure there's got to be 2 guys to carry Joe, one on the left side, one on the right side. There's got to be 2 people on his feet, one to move the left one forward, one to move the right one forward so he can walk. And then you've got a couple other ones, the puppet masters, to make his mouth move. So, kind of going through all of this. But it's just amazing that, when we have such a problem with getting people to go to work and keeping businesses open, hell, you want to make money? Go work for Uncle Joe, because God knows he's going to pay you out the yin yang for, doing next to nothing just so you can say, I'm on the team, boss. Happy Independence Day. All right. So I thought I'd give you guys some fun stuff there that was just interesting. So I thought you'd all enjoy a couple of laughs and jokes and something fun to start the night with, because, hey, it's Saturday night and that's what we do. We have fun. So grab your libations, grab your best hat, and let's get on with the show. So, for all those of you guys that are new here, this is how we do it. It's going to be about 50 minutes Q&A here. If you have a question for me, please put it in all caps. That way I know you're directing it to me. If it's in lowercase, I kind of skip over those in the chat because I figure that's all y'all having conversations back and forth, which is wonderful because there's a lot of great information that comes out of the family members here in the chat, in the comments on videos, everything. There's a ton of stuff that you can learn from everybody here. So it's not just watching me. Read the comments in the videos because I learn as much from y'all as you guys learn from me. Okay. So that being said, if you got a question, put it in all caps. I start from the top, work my way down. I try to get to as many as I can. If you haven't heard an answer, post it again. If I see it a second time, I'll just skip over it. Sometimes you guys will ask the same question. Somebody else will ask the same question. If I've already got it, I'll just move on. Okay. That being said, if your one mission is here to troll me, apparently there's 2 of you already who have thumbs down the video, I have the best executioners in the world on this channel between North Shore, Jacob, and Patriot Sandwich Maker. Okay. Piss them off. You don't even get a chance to piss me off because they're so quick at getting rid of trolls. I never even see it. So if you want to troll, your life expectancy is milliseconds. So just giving you an FYI. There's plenty of other channels that live stream at 9 o'clock that you can go troll on. This ain't going to be the one that you're going to have any success at. So if you're a troll, have a nice day. All right. That being said, greetings to everybody. Man, there's 459 people in here already. Okay. guess there's not that many fireworks shows going on a Saturday night, so be it. All right, but good. I'm glad everybody's here. I'm here. Let's all have some fun and go through. So let me scroll up to the top and see what we got, and I can get as far as that. So I see a whole bunch of good afternoons, good evenings. Dana Nepsa, Pinball and Mrs. P looks great. Great job. I'm assuming you're talking either the deck or the smokehouse, because it sure as hell ain't me. So those might look great. This guy does not. Okay, let's see. Patrice Lindsay, good evening. Good evening back to you, Patrice. And Patty Bob, good evening all. Greetings from Germany. Hope you all are keeping well and staying safe, having a wonderful 4th of July weekend. I couldn't have said that better myself. Staying safe, like I said in this morning's video, guys, be careful. There's a lot of idiots out there this weekend. It's like, oh, gee, you know what? I can just shoot bottle rockets off out of my hand. Okay. And, just be careful. Okay. Lorna P says, where can I buy it? My dog is older and I don't know. Oh, okay. I see Patrice said something about CBD oil. Okay. I don't know for dogs. I don't, pretty much, hell, a lot of gas stations you can get CBD. Vape shops, smoke shops, anything like that, you can get it. Don't know about dogs. Okay. I don't give it to my dogs, but check into it that way. Patriot Sandwich Maker says, welcome everyone. North Shore says, let's have a clean chat. That's always a good thing. Lisa Prep, Smokehouse looks fantastic. Happy 4th. Thank you. I've been sweating this. I'll just give you this, make mistakes. Like I said, the thing ain't perfect. So I put it all together, put the ridge gap on, the little top that goes right over the peak of the roof. And I forgot to put the styrofoam underneath it. So Mrs. P and I have known we've had to do this for like 2 weeks. And so I get out on a ladder, and, she's got a whole ladder so I can get up on the ladder because the ground's not level. You can pretty much tell that. So she's got to hold the ladder while I'm crawling up there. And so I've been sweating this because I haven't been able to test it for temperature. And I told her, I said, we got to get this done because if this thing doesn't work tomorrow, I got people coming over, I got to feed. So we got it done, and I got some wood in there and fired it up, and I got it up to 225, and I was ecstatic. I was like, okay. I sat there and watched my little fire burn in my little firebox, but I was very happy because if that thing didn't work, I was going to be pissed because there was a lot of work building that thing, but it worked. Okay. Still a couple of leaks in it that I'll eventually silicone up, but it'll work for tomorrow, no problem. North Shore, whose thumb is broken? Hit that thumbs up. Well, it ain't my thumb, but it ain't broken, but it's hamburger. Let's see. Okay, and there's all the 5x5s. Okay, so now it's going to shoot me all the way to the bottom. So let's go back to the top. And now catch me. Trucker B, did you see the video I sent you about the farmers being paid to destroy their crops? I've got a boatload of emails that y'all have sent me. There's something like 60 of them that I've got to go through yet with video clips and things like that. If they're short video clips, I've got no problem watching them. If they're long ones, I don't have time to do it. Okay, I haven't had time to even go through much of anything today. If there's something in a, let's say it's a 2-hour video clip. If there's something that's in a video that you want me to see, please, let me know. Hey, go to 10 minutes and 52 seconds. This is the part that I think you want to see. That makes life a lot easier, because if I see a 45-minute long video come in, I just delete it. I don't have time to watch it. Okay. I know the video's in there, Trucker B. I have not had time to watch it yet. But farmers being paid to destroy their crops, yeah, this has been going on not only for years, but we know this for a long time here this year. Mama Preps 4. Hi, it's hot here in Montana. 91 outside and 87 in the house. Rodeo starts in an hour. Yeah. 91 is not normal for you guys. 80, the 80s, yeah, I can see that for July. But when you guys, was the last week you guys were in the hundreds for days. That's crazy. So, Rachel Sue, will I be doing a video on using my smokehouse for the first time? Well, the first time is going to be tomorrow, and I've got half a dozen neighbors coming over, so I'm not going to be videoing it, but I'll inevitably show you, take a picture of what we cook, everything like that. But yeah, I've got 2 briskets and a pork loin that are going to get smoked tomorrow. So yeah, I will be up at the crack of dawn tomorrow morning to get those in the smokehouse so we can eat around 6 o'clock, because it should take somewhere around 6 hours to smoke, 2 more hours to cook, and then 2 hours to rest. So there's 10 hours. If I figure if I have the fire going at 6, I have everything hot in there enough by 7:30ish, and then I'll have briskets in by 8. So that's kind of the game plan. But yeah, I got to get going earlier. But I'll take pictures for you. How about that? North Shore, how'd it work? Got it in there. I got that thing up to temperature on 4 logs. Logs, I mean, what do you, but 6, 8-inch logs, hickory, and got it up to temp. So I was very happy with that. And it took about an hour for it to get up to temp, but I was totally cool with that. So I was just happy it got there. If you can't tell, because I probably said that 10 times already. Let's see. Lorna P. Potatoes expected to give Putin an ultimatum. Sorry, I can't even say that without laughing. I can't read it without laughing either. The hell is he going to? What kind of ultimatum is he going to say? I mean, Putin just launched this world-class submarine, okay, that's got the Poseidon torpedoes on it, the nuclear torpedoes. This thing's a monster. I mean, what kind of ultimatum is Joe going to give him? Hey, don't go into Ukraine, or don't park your submarines off of Cuba or something like that. Otherwise, what? We're going to start not using your correct pronouns. I mean, what the hell? I mean, it's like Joe's comment to a reporter yesterday when they were asking him about foreign relations stuff. I just want to talk about good things this weekend. No, dude, you're the president. You talk about whatever's going on. Your 16 cents and all this sort of silly stuff. And, oh, look, everything, unicorns and rainbows. Okay, sorry. No, that's not what the president does. Okay, maybe that's what the dog catcher in Delaware does, but not the president of the United States. Okay, you talk about what is going on at the immediate moment, good, bad, or indifferent. There we go. I see Jacob's already got the executioner's guillotine out. Audrey Huffman, thanks, Mr. Pinball. Just want to thank you and those from 1776 families and forward for getting and keeping our country free. Happy 4th, one and all. I couldn't agree more. Daniel Sampson, thoughts on Japan warning us of attack by the Russians and Chinese, just drills or concerns? I read that this morning when I got up, when the Japanese are saying that, how do they put it? It's like, okay, we attacked in 1941 on Pearl Harbor, and now we're one of the U.S.'s best allies. And they're seeing the exact same things about, the Russians and the Chinese tag teaming and going after Pearl Harbor. Now, strategically, I've said this many times, the only way that either Russia or China could ever do anything against the United States is if they team up. Okay, that's the only feasible way. They can't. Neither country could do it on their own. It's not logistically possible, either for manpower or for location. Together, they can. And the most important thing, like I've said many times, the reason China can't do anything is because China does not have the naval capacity to supply troops in the United States if they decided to land in the United States, or come down from Canada, come up from Mexico, sleeper cells, whatever you want to call it, that they potentially might have. They'd need to be able to supply those troops, primarily with weapons and ammunition. Food, they're going to be able to get here, okay? I mean, not that difficult. There's enough food around. I mean, they ain't going to be paying for it, so not worried about that. So that's where Russia comes in, because Russia's got a more substantial navy. But of course, so do we. And, you've got the Pacific Fleet. So they'd have to take out Pearl Harbor. So, I mean, if there was any sort of tip off that something was coming, that would be Pearl Harbor. And that's why everybody's watching these Russian exercises 35 miles off the coast of Pearl Harbor so closely, because you never know what's going to happen there. All right. So if something does go hot there, that's when you could see potentially, and I'm not trying to scare anybody, I'm just talking about military strategy. That's when you could see, that would be how they would wind up starting a ground war, is by establishing sea dominance first. Okay, a couple of comments in here. Guys, if it's directed to me, put it in caps. If it's not directed to me, please don't. Because I'm seeing some of these, like Rachel Sue says, will heels up be at there? I don't know what we're talking about. So just if you guys are having conversations between yourself, keep it in lowercase letters. It makes it easier on me, because there's 574 of you and there's one of me. So let's see. South Colorado Study. This new hack must not have been on the list Biden gave Putin. Yeah, no kidding. You can't hack these 16 companies. The rest of them are fine. Is basically what Biden said. But Three Corners Head. Do I like my Champion generator? Yeah, thing works great. Never have a problem with it. I mean, I've had to use it 4 or 5 times. And I mean, let's see. I run. What do I run off of it? 2 chest freezers, my refrigerator, and usually my internet. I mean, those, if it's nighttime, then I'll get a light bulb or light plugged in or something like that too. But the most important things for me to keep going in the house are to protect the food, and so that's where it goes. But yeah, I mean, it's out there. Pull it, start it, done, and it has no problem running anything. And what surprises me is it's actually really good on gas. I mean, I'd say gas mileage, but it's not like a thing travels. But it's definitely a fuel sipper. So yeah, I definitely recommend the Champion generator. And I got it at Tractor Supply. So I mean, it's not, I don't remember what we paid for it, $500, $600, something like that. Maybe it was that. It was a couple of years ago we bought it. I don't remember what we paid for it. And God knows what things cost a couple of years ago is irrelevant for what things cost now. Joe DeFazio, hear about the Kaseya ransomware attack. Yeah, I talked about that at the top. So before we went into Q&A. So yeah, I talked about that in my open. Pat D, do I ever get the chance to go fishing? Maybe now. And of course, I've already missed spawn. And so, it is my best friend up here, our neighbor, and everything, who did help us with the deck, guys, by the way. It wasn't just me and Mrs. P. I mean, he came down and helped too. So we had a third set of hands, which was greatly appreciated. He'll never know. But we were talking about going fishing tonight, but I had live stream, and so we couldn't. So I will get out and get some fishing done, because now that I know the smokehouse works, I got to get out and get some bass in the freezer so I can smoke some fish for Mrs. P. But I have been out for all of 45 minutes one evening this year so far. And it's pretty sad for, where I'm a 2-minute walk from the lake. Rooster Cogburn, any good advice for putting up dry food in Mylar bags? Okay, and you say 5-gallon there, so I'm figuring you're putting them in a 5-gallon bucket. All depends on what the food is. I mean, the best advice I can give you is make sure you have oxygen absorbers, okay, for your rice, for your beans, not for your sugar, okay? You don't want to do that, because then you're going to wind up with 1 brick of sugar, okay? But then things like rice and beans, Make sure to put the bags that you get in the store, put them in the freezer for a couple of days, just to make sure that you killed off anything that might be in there. Freeze those out, put them in the Mylar bags. Then the oxygen absorber, if you froze them and then there's no air, there's nothing that's going to live in those things. Definitely put them in buckets. You can use food grade buckets if you want to. Okay, you don't need to. Certainly, don't spend the money on food grade buckets if you're going to put stuff in Mylar bags. Okay, it's your redundancy. That doesn't help you anyway. It just costs you money. Now, if you're getting the buckets free from the bakery or something like that, and they're frosting buckets, though not pickle buckets, because somebody in here was trying to clean out pickle buckets and it never worked. And I don't want pickle flavored rice or anything like that. I just use the regular 5-gallon buckets that I get at Rural King. They're a couple of bucks. Put a lid on it, everything. I'm fine. Then the other thing that's very key with storing your dry goods, make sure it is in some place that has a relatively constant temperature. Okay, there's no such thing as perfectly. Don't put them out in the garage if you live in Massachusetts. Okay, it's going to be 100 degrees in summer and it's going to be 0 degrees in winter. You need to keep them in the house. Okay, the cooler the better. Not frozen, but if you can keep them down 50 degrees or whatever, if you got a basement, that's great. The other advantage of the that you want the plastic buckets for is it keeps the critters out. They're going to go right through a Mylar bag if you just put it in there. So yeah, a lot of things to do with it, but Mylar bags, freeze the stuff, constant temperature, oxygen absorbers, you should be golden. North Shore, yes, I hit 26K a couple of days ago. Thank you. So yeah, next one's at 50, next giveaway's at 50, so we got 24,000 to go. So that's going to be a while. Pamela Rowe, what do you suggest for communication if we lose cell phone connection? Okay, so the big question with this comes up is, who are you going to communicate? Who do you need to communicate with? Okay. Now, if it's, I'll use me as an example just because I know where people live. Okay. If it's me and I need to contact my daughter who's in Indiana, okay, this is a problem. Two-way radios aren't going to work. CB is not going to work. Your only option at that point is ham radio. Okay. And then, of course, in order to communicate on ham radio, I have to be licensed and she has to be licensed to know how to use the ham radio. So you get into some issues there. And this is where I say, in the event that communications go down, society shrinks, community shrinks like in no time, okay? Because you're not going to be able to talk to the person that's 2 miles away feasibly. Maybe you can pick them up on a two-way radio or something, but do they have a compatible two-way? Then you get onto CB walkie-talkie type thing. Well, now you're talking completely unsecure, and anybody can hear what's going on. So, depending on where the people are, communication is something that you have to establish ahead of time. It can't be, oh, gee, the power went out. Well, I need to get a hold of my daughter. What do I do now? It's too late for that. You need to have a plan, now. Hypothetically, we get hit by an EMP. What is her plan? What is my plan? What's a route? If my daughter coming here, okay, what's the route she's going to take? What's the alternate route she's going to take? You need to know those things, okay? You need to know how long it's going to take, all right? For a drive, it's going to take about 6 hours for her to get here. What if a car breaks down? What if there's traffic, whatever? What if she has to grab a bicycle and try to go 300 miles on a bicycle, okay? You need to know all these things because you need to have established meeting places on the way, that every 20 miles or whatever. If something happens, this is where you go. If it's a gas station, if it's a McDonald's, if it's something, okay, this is where you need to go. Because, again, same situation. If she's coming here and she's not here when she's expected, then I know, okay, I go to point A, she's not there. Then I know to go to point B, she's not there. I know to go to point C. It's not, I'm just driving aimlessly for 300 miles. I know specifically where to go, okay? So, you've got to work out those kind of details before an SHTF situation happens. But yeah, as for communication, a little more specific, long distance, short distance, whatever, but I think I kind of covered both of them there. Thistledown Z, how's the meat in the smokehouse? I'll tell you in about 24 hours because there's nothing in there yet. What solar, South Colorado Stetter, what solar panels did I get for the Eco? I have not yet. Okay. And again, you guys got to remember, I am a complete noob when it comes to solar. All right. So I watched a bunch of Rudy stuff. I watched Hobo Tech. I read some other reviews. And for what I'm looking to do with solar, this was the one that I decided to go first. Okay. What it could power. That was what was important to me. And like I said earlier, my most important things to power are my refrigerator and my freezers. Okay. But I haven't even bought solar panels yet because I want to charge this thing up, and I want to do my own test, the one I'll share with you guys, and run it on my refrigerator and see how long my refrigerator lasts. I want to run it on my freezers and see how long my freezers last, because if it only runs my refrigerator for 4 hours, the thing's useless. Okay. Because I go to bed at 10 o'clock. It's done at 2 o'clock in the morning. I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and guess what? I've got spoiled milk and all this sort of stuff, so it's useless. If it can't run at least through the night for me, it's useless. The reason I picked this one was A, cost, B, the power it supposedly has, but C, it's also got a quick charge. So rather than having to wait 12 hours to get the thing charged up, supposedly I can charge this in about 4. And if I can do that, then I'm feasibly good till for, the following night or whatever it would be. I know just from figuring this out, in a SHTF situation, I'm going to have more than one because, one's charging, the other one's, I've got to have a second one that's powering my refrigerator or whatever it is. Fortunately, as you all know, none of us have an unlimited wallet. So it's like, okay, I'll get one, make sure it works. If it works, then I'll get another one down the road. So just, I'm dipping my toe in the water on this. I've tried so many ideas on alternate power, and I can't come up with one that is feasible and affordable, I guess are the two words. Okay. Thoughts on the so-called heavily armed militia group in Massachusetts on I-95? Talked about that at the top, Brian. Apparently, Mass Police has arrested them all, so that is good. But who knows? Who knows what they were up to? But when the cops came by and they scattered into the woods, they were up to something that wasn't good. I don't run away from a cop if I see him. I'm watching to make sure he's not going to do anything crazy. But I'm not running in the woods all of a sudden because there's a cop that goes by. Sunset, was there anything that surprised you about prepping, and what was the hardest? That's a great question. What surprised me most about prepping is how little when you start out, and you go, holy crap, I didn't know that, I didn't know that, I didn't know that, I didn't know that. Yeah, for all those jokes that are made about preppers and TV shows and everything like that make it sound like, just a bunch of people stocking food. Even the stocking food part about it is, holy crap, how much food do I need to have? I did a video on this. I've told you guys a couple of times. The average person eats 2,000 pounds of food a year. Okay, there's 2 of us, and I advocate for 1 year's worth of food. That means I have to have stored 2 tons of food to get us through 1 year. You don't realize that. That's a big surprise. But then, all the other things that surprise you is, oh, I need to know this, and I need to know first aid, and I need to know about different alternative power sources and heat and cool. It's a never-ending journey, as I say all the time. You're always learning something new. I'm learning stuff from you guys all the time because nobody's cornered the market on good ideas. Okay? And as I listen to a lot of what you guys say, I'm like, how can I adapt that to what I need to do? Because there is no one size fits all in prepping either. My situation is completely different than, say, Angry Preppers. I'm out in rural Tennessee and he's in New York City. We don't prep the same way. Obviously we both need to eat, but he can't plant a massive garden. So he's got to have an alternate way of replenishing his food, for example. What's the hardest? The hardest part is the financial part. That's certainly, I think everybody'd agree with me. Because at the beginning, it's not that bad. You're going, okay, I got to start. What do you start with? Rice and beans. You go, okay, you know what? I can go. I saw what the price of beans was at the store this weekend. $2.99 for a 2-pound bag, and we were getting them for 99 cents last summer. But the financial part at the beginning, you start out going, okay, rice and beans, not that expensive. Now I pick up some canned goods, when we're, maybe you can still get stuff like that, 50, 60 cents a can. I mean, who knows? I've seen people talking about $2 for a can of Del Monte vegetables. That starts adding up quick. And then as you get a little bit further, it's like, oh, well, weapons costs have gone up, ammo costs have gone up, generator costs have gone up, and you're going, make it rain here. It's like, okay, I don't have the financial wherewithal that, a lot of the things require. So this is why, I've done videos on how else can you make money? What else can you do to supplement whatever, where can you find things for free? How can you go garage sailing, bartering, doing whatever? There's, you've got to get very creative. I'm even saying about the smokehouse, I'd say more than half the material I got for the smokehouse, I got for free. Okay. The cinder block was free. The lumber I got, not the siding because I had to pay for that. But the framing lumber was all free. The bricks were free, So, if you look around, you can find some of the things that you need inexpensively or free, or find something that's comparable that you can make work, But yeah, the hardest part is definitely the financial side of it. Diane S., what do you think of China trying to bully the U.S., smashed skulls in the river of blood? China's got a superiority complex, and they know they're winning right now. With Potato in the White House, they know that, this is playing, again, 4D chess against the guy playing tiddlywinks, all right? Joe is completely outclassed by the political leaders, or, your quote-unquote political adversaries, Putin, Xi, even Kim Jong-un. Putin's just completely outclassed. And, even if Bozo or, Hitlery are doing, consulting for him, they're outclassed too. Okay. So, that's the problem we have. We have an anti-American Democrat Party. And, so they're just bowing down going, oh, okay, China, we'll do whatever you want. Just, save us. That's our foreign policy right now, which is the scary part. Rachel Sue found a better deal on hot dogs. 4-pack of Hebrew National for $7.99. Well, I'd rather have Hebrew National hot dogs than Oscar Mayer any day, but I was about floored when I buy one, get one free, $6 a pack. Who the hell are you crapping? It was amazing that the whole display there was still full because everybody else looked at it and go, right, not happening. Bar S Franks, $1.29, cool, we're there. It's a hot dog. I think of 8 hot dogs for $6. Really? 75 cents just for the hot dog? Come on. This is, pig noses and pigtails here. Yeah. Oh, by the way, those $5.99 hot dogs were not even the all beef hot dogs. Rip Curl, why would there be fireworks? It's the 3rd. Because it's Saturday. That's the thing. And, I don't know, Monday's the official day off for this, not Friday. So who knows? But, there's all sorts of places that rather do it on Saturday night or whatever. Universal Prepper, are lumber prices coming down in Tennessee? They're still sky high in Florida. Okay, talking to my friend, like I said, who helped me with the deck. He works for a home builder, and he said they are starting to come down. But again, the lumber, I'm just going to say this, not anything in particular, but just use Home Depot as an example. If Home Depot paid $6 for a 2x4, they're going to sell them for $7 until they get rid of those. And then the next ones they're going to buy at $4 or whatever, they'll sell at $5. So they've got to sell this inventory, as close to cost as they can. They're not going to sell it at a loss. So that's the other thing that's going to keep prices from coming down, is nobody's going to drop prices to take a loss on something. But yeah, from what he's telling me, lumber prices are slowly coming down. How long it lasts, who knows? Montana Grizz fan, when do you think the shortages are really going to hit the store shelves? For some reason, I think it'll be around February when we're cloistered thanks to winter. I have a feeling it's going to be earlier. I'm guessing more like October, because once the seasons change, and just like last year, what did we do with not trying to start an argument here, but you saw peak, valley over the summer, and peak go into the winter again. Now, whether or not those numbers are accurate, I don't know, but damn well that 46 administration and all the Gretchen Whitmers and Andrew Cuomo's and Gruesome Newsom, they're all going to say, "Oh, it's getting bad again," and we're going to see this again. Okay, so people are going to start freaking out. So there's a lot of manipulation based on fear. I don't think it's so much based on fact. It's based on fear is why we're going to see shortages, and why I'd say it's going into fall again, because they've already trained us from last fall with a ramp up. And that's the other thing with this whole Delta thing. They're setting it up now so everybody's afraid of it. So when it's time to pull the trigger, they can go, boom, Delta, we got to shut everything down. My thoughts, okay? Maybe right, maybe wrong. My track record's better than the average bear. Big Bear Preps canned 5 quarts of green beans and 6 quarts of beets today from the garden. Sweet. I know my beans are finally doing good. My beets are the size of baseballs. So, and I've got garden story. Okay, so our potatoes are ready. So Mrs. P and I pulled one potato plant yesterday just to check. Okay, and these were Kennebec Whites, and got 7 potatoes off of one plant. Now, remember, I planted something like 60. So I'm gonna have a lot of potatoes, but that was the point. I was hoping for 250 to 300 pounds. Man, were those potatoes good. We had them for dinner tonight. These aren't Yukon Golds. These are just Kennebec potatoes. It didn't need butter, a little bit of salt and pepper on them. Oh my God, were they good. Okay. So, like I said to Mrs. P when I was eating them, I didn't feel like I was just eating a forkful of starch. It actually, tasted like a good potato. But yes, so canning the green beans, canning the beets, everything, yes. Good deal. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear you got stuff growing in the garden too. Diana B, do I think after the 4th we're looking at another lockdown? No. It depends on the state again. If they're going to come, it's a super spreader event or something. Maybe. Okay. Somebody made a great comment today though. Why is it that you're not allowed to have 4th of July parties, but it was okay to have a Juneteenth party? Figure that one out. I guess, COVID we were already told COVID could determine whether you were rich or poor. It's an extremely smart virus. It can tell your financial condition. Now I'm guessing COVID can tell your race too. So, it's an incredibly smart virus. Oops, just shot up to the top. Let's see. Man, I must be. Oh, I am way behind. Okay, as far as I can go. Tommy M, you need to tap the little flowers on the tomato plants to fertilize them and get more tomatoes. I'm not having any problems with tomatoes. That's for sure. But I mean, part of the reason I don't think we have any problem with tomatoes is because Mrs. P's got flowers all over the place too. So we have plenty of pollinating insects. I mean, I've got hundreds of tomatoes on these tomato plants. Those cherry tomatoes I said that one of y'all had sent me the seeds for. You remember I put them in a 10-foot cage. They're about 9.5 feet. So they have almost filled a 10-foot high tomato cage. Northwoods Mama, how do I allocate resources for preps? Right now I'm trying to prep in cycles in order to set aside a span of time's worth everything, one span at a time across the board. Okay, so, and again, it all depends. The very first thing that I tell anybody, okay, is you get yourself a year's worth of food. That's what you work on. And until you've got that, nothing else matters. You're obviously working on paying off bills. That's important, because food and shelter are going to be key. Water, obviously, is another one of those, but finding a water resource is not that expensive. Saving rainwater, buying water, you can get a case of water at Walmart for $3.50 or whatever it would be. And then your water purification. But, your first priority has got to be food and water. Obviously, if you got a mortgage, you're not going to worry about, I got to pay off the mortgage before I'm going to buy anything else. But you're trying to pay that off as fast as you can. Food, water, protection would be next. Then you get into any sort of power, whatever, then now you're starting to get into the expensive stuff. Now you're getting into generators. Now you're getting into precious metals, whatever it would be. But absolutely 1 year's worth of food. And again, for those of y'all that are new, the reason I say 1 year's worth of food is because what I'm growing now has to last me through what I can harvest this time next year. So you don't know if you're going to have a good season, bad season, or whatever, but I need to prepare for an entire year until I can harvest again. Because, right now my peas are dead. It's too late to plant peas. So whatever I've got stored is all the peas I have until, say, next May. Those are the things that you need to look at. That's why you need a year's worth of food stored so you can get yourself through to the next year. Let's see. Yeah, August Blue, prepping like most things you do. One step leads you to the next step. Absolutely. You're always going to find something else that is going to be worthwhile. It's just a matter of, there's a big difference between prepping and hoarding. Okay. Finding what you need is a big difference in just buying anything you can. Okay. I've talked about, what I think are necessities in weaponry, what you need to have. I talked earlier about how my plan is on generator power. What run one during the day, one's charging, the other one's running, and I can just rotate them that way. Those are the things that you kind of got to look at here. But yeah, everything one step leads to the next. He's like, okay, think about it. I went out and I bought my weapon. Now I need something to feed it. Okay, now I need to get the next one. All right. Big Daddy Prepper, first step in preparing, get out of debt. Yeah, I want to do a video on this one, not on getting out of debt. I've done that before, but what happens if you are in debt and you can't get out? And then one of the rest of us is out of debt. How did that work? Okay. So I'm still kind of trying to figure out how to put that one together. I've got it up here. I just can't put it here. Wilderness woman, nice upcycle. You're speaking my language with doing that. Hey, like I said, the two planters that I did in the backyard, those are made out of old pallets. I saw them in Walmart for a little 12-inch high one. They wanted like $25 for it. I'm like, crap, I can make that in an hour. So I made 3-foot high ones out of two old pallets. I mean, I've got artwork in the house made out of pallets. I've got a cabinet in here that people are like, boy, that's nice. I'm like, yeah, I made it out of pallets. Nobody believes me. It's made out of pallets. But it's material. You can figure out how to use it, and especially if it's free, figure out how to use it. It's, free is good, especially as a prepper. Who cares? Pinball, what was your Army MOS? 97 Echo, Interrogator, Linguist. Which I don't know if it exists anymore. It might only in Arabic. I know they switched it to a 35 whiskey when they took off the linguistics part of it. But yes, 97 Echo, Czech linguist. And very proud of that. Tommy M. Red Dawn with China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea in the future. God. Yeah. Do you want to be the guys behind the fence, or do you want to be the Wolverines? Okay, there you go. The first one was better, by the way. South Colorado started. It's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine because I prepped. REM. There you go. Cute. Who cares what is an Army Interrogator and what MOS is it? MOS now is a 35 whiskey. It used to be 97 Echo. It might still be 97 Echo because I know the only language they're basically doing is Arabic. What is an Army Interrogator? It's human intelligence. Okay, so as a prisoner, if you will, is captured or surrenders or whatever, it was my job to talk to them to find out whatever intelligence I could from them about, anything from troop movements, troop locations, armament, whatever would be, any sort of information you could find. It was human interaction, talking to somebody to get it. What, different guys will, listen to radios and try to, pick up radio broadcasts, or you had signal intelligence or whatever it would be. Human intelligence is one-on-one, person to person. Mr. P, how much gas do you have stocked up? I rotate 20 or 50 gallons of gas. I have 30 gallons of gas that I rotate. Debbie C, I just bought 5 pounds of bacon, $4.15 a pound from an Amish store. That's actually a really good price, and chances are from the Amish stores, it's actually good bacon. There's actually meat in it. It's not all fat. Diane Fritz, we have a 10-pack of Oscar Mayer hot dogs, 3 for $4 at Hy-Vee. Yeah, as opposed to 2 for $6, right? Yeah, just it's the store. Okay. Charlie Knoll, have I heard anything on another lockdown? No, I have not. But again, I think any other lockdowns are going to wind up state by state at this point, because most of the red states have said, screw it, this is over, we're not dealing with this anymore, we're back to business. Most of the blue states are still trembling in their boots. Debbie C, they're pushing the vax too hard. Something's up with it. Yeah, we've been saying that forever. I mean, there's an ulterior motive with this, and I still keep going back to the movie, and now I can't think of the name of the movie. I've mentioned it many times. Samuel L. Jackson's the bad guy. I keep wanting to say League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. That's not it. The Kingsman, and the first one, where Samuel L. Jackson's the bad guy. and they put something in the cell phones to make everybody go crazy. Again, Hollywood predicts life. Who's to say that there's not something in the vaccine that somebody goes click and everybody goes, whoa, and turn you into a zombie? I don't know. I mean, that's crazy conspiracy stuff. But it's just too funny that too many of these conspiracy things turn out to be true. Richard CZ, CNN scare tactics and latest editorial today titled Unvaccinated are the new variant factories. Yeah, except the problem that they have is the most people that are getting the Delta are vaccinated. So, I mean, CNN has this huge problem with facts, okay? They just don't seem to correlate. It's, CNN is one letter short of the Cartoon Network. Lauren, I never met a potato I didn't like except the potato in chief. There you go. North Shore, what the hell is Juneteenth? Juneteenth is the celebration day for when the slaves were freed. Not that that's not a good thing, but it's not worthy of a holiday. We got enough freaking holidays as is. Three Corners Hat, how are you going to store your potatoes? This was probably 3 months ago. I did a video. I showed everybody how to make a very inexpensive root cellar. Basically what I did is took 2 metal trash cans, brand new ones. You can only use one. I just needed 2. Take a metal trash can and bury it, okay? And the ambient temperature underground stays constant enough. You're going to put some straw over the top of it. You'll lay your potatoes in there, put straw in, lay another layer of potatoes, layer of straw. It'll keep it insulated, keep it cool. Doing that is great for potatoes, sweet potatoes, carrots, apples, onions, anything like that. Because, underground, again, reason that they put people 6 feet under, the temperature stays the same. I think it's like 67 degrees or whatever at about 6 feet under constantly, all right? Burying a trash can, obviously you're not going 6 feet under, but you're going to be able to keep it insulated enough where it's not going to freeze and it's not going to get so freaking hot in there that they're going to rot. So, yeah, if you go back and watch, I did a video on how to make a root cellar. It actually works very well. KD, what is your plan for your tomatoes? Canning, freezing? Mrs. P wants to make salsa. Mrs. P wants to make tomato sauce, spaghetti sauce, whatever it is. And we eat a ton of tomatoes here. So, we had 21 tomato plants last year, and we didn't store any because we ate all the tomatoes off of all of them fresh. Okay, we eat a lot of tomatoes. So that's why we've got something like 60 plants this year, because she wants to make tomato sauce and salsa out of it. So canning, I guess, would be the answer. Crystal Fuhrer canned 12 quarts of cherries, 12 jars of jam, and froze the rest. My tree is so low. As soon as I read the first line, you said 12 quarts of cherries. I'm going, I hope to God you've got a cherry tree. Because the cost of cherries, like, oh my God. We got some cherries yesterday. I think they were $2.99 a pound. I'm like, okay, these things are like eating gold. But I love cherries. It's one of my guilty pleasures. Wilderness Woman. I always plant a second crop of peas, one in spring and one in fall. I'm going to have to try this year with some of my cool weather crops, because I get a feeling the springtime plantings for cold weather, my peas did fine. I had tons of peas. But my brassicas and everything like that, it got too hot, too fast, and everything bolted. So I'm figuring come mid-August, I'm going to replant my brassicas and see if I can do broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts again, see if I have any better luck going into the colder months, and that'll just be a fall planting, because y'all are noticing this too. We go from winter to summer. Spring lasts a week. It's like, oh, it's 40 degrees. Oh, it's 40 degrees. And a week later, it's like, oh, it's 85 degrees. And it's like, okay, where's those 60-degree days that, a lot of your cool weather plants like. Man, we flew by. It is 10 o'clock. All right. I don't want to make North Shore wait forever here because I know he's going on here shortly thereafter. So, guys, y'all have a absolutely safe and happy and wonderful barbecue time, 4th of July and everything tomorrow. Stay safe. I'm going to give you my take on the 4th of July tomorrow. It's true, but humorous, and most people will like it. Let's put it that way. So have a good one, gang. We'll talk to y'all in the morning. Pinball out.